Merhaba, my adults. You are listening to M from Adults, the only podcast you're listening to right now, I would hope. You'd be crazy to listen to more than one at once. I am your host, Tristen. I'm a little plugged up right now in my nose. Nowhere else. User interaction. Here's the work email. workwiththemadults@gmail.com. Guys, I'm just going to cut right to it, alright? I don't come bearing good news. I have declared war on Sherry, my co-host. Can you believe that she prefers heat over cold? I, the chairman of Chill, have officially declared war on Sherry, the Huntress of Heat. So now, we're going to duke it out right here, right now, on this legendary Episode 6, halfway through the season, M from Adults podcast. How you doing over there, Sherry?
Good.
You comfortable?
Yeah.
It's 78 in here.
Is it?
It is absurdly hot.
78 outside.
So let me ask you a question. You, the listener, out there right now. If you had the choice, you were walking into a room, okay? And what feels better? Walking into an air-conditioned room in the summer or walking into a heated room in the winter? Now, the choice should be clear for me. It's walking into an air-conditioned room in the summer. Because summer outside is misery. I equate it with misery. It's hot, I'm sweaty, all I want to do is take my clothes off, but I can't because I'll get charged again. That was a joke. I've never been charged for public indecency in December of 2016. That'd be a horrible time to do it, but I'm just saying, it's more refreshing to walk into an air-conditioned room in the summer because you've been outside in the blistering heat. It's 78 right now in Kentucky, where we are. It's 78. It's muggy as all hell, right? So you walk out there, your sweat can't evaporate, so it's just sitting there. You're sticky. You're walking around, you're feeling like a giant Play-Doh. A giant hot Play-Doh. Not the philosopher, but like the moldy. Like, it's because it's... Okay, I'm not winning this with
The
Sherry.
dough that you play with?
Yes, the Play-Doh. You're a big, hot, stinky, smelly, yucky Play-Doh. And you walk into a box that cures, like, all of it. You know, cures it all. Air-conditioned room. You walk in there, it's like, liberating, right? That's a liberating feel. Okay? And the main point here is that I hate the heat. I hate the hot. I hate hot. And I want to say, and this is going to be blasphemy to hear, Sherry. I know I've told you this before, but 68 degrees is the optimal temperature to exist. Right? No, not right. You're going to argue with me. You're going to argue with me. So, go ahead. Go ahead, lay it on me. Lay it on me, I will refute every single point. You, the Huntress of Heat, argue in favor of being warm.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. The floor is yours. I've put down a solid, unbeatable argument already that's as hard as ice. It is rock solid. It will not melt like the glaciers.
So, the argument, I have to narrow it down because I have a lot of reasons why I like the summer.
And you know what? I'll be completely honest. I kind of sprung this on her last second, so she's not prepared. She's not as prepared as I am. Okay, I have been stewing in this, mainly because I've had a lot of time to think about it, because it's been hot. It's hot.
Okay, so at least where we live in Kentucky, I'll say one benefit of having the heat in the summers is that the weather here, there isn't anything that's that's dangerous. There's no dangerous weather. Whereas in the winter with the snow and the ice, it can be dangerous to be like outside and driving and stuff. And brushing off your car or having to snow blow out is super annoying. Waste of time.
Okay, so I'm going to refute you right now. All right, so you say ice and snow is more dangerous. Maybe to the common driver. But let's say Grandma goes out to grab her mail.
Okay, so if we're going to go out and say Grandma, then we're going into a different... You're putting a different frame around the question.
Okay, all right, give me the idea. Give me the human. The human
Us.
that you,
So
okay.
I was assuming because you said that you don't like walking outside and feeling like Play-Doh. Whereas if we were talking about an old person, I would agree that probably like it's dangerous in the summer for them to be out because they can get heat stroke and stuff more easily.
All right, fine.
So
fine,
we have to set some boundaries.
Okay, you know what? I'll argue. The chairman of Chill is about to slam down your argument like a fine 2-point dunk or what. I don't play basketball. I don't know.
It's an appropriate comparison since you're gonna lose.
Okay, all right, bring it on. Now it's getting heated up. And you know what? That's
just
unpleasant
how I
for everybody.
like it.
Yeah, whatever. This is unpleasant for everybody because it's heating up. Okay, and that's another. Why would it say chill? That's like the term. You chill. Chillax, brother. Because everybody's supposed to be cool, because cool is better than hothead. You can't refute that.
I'd rather be hot than cool.
I know that. I know. So now I'm going to put myself in the position of your argument. Okay, you say it's more dangerous to be out in the winter. Well, let me tell you, I'm gonna go out to get the mail. Okay, I'm gonna go out to get the mail. It's hot and it's 80 degrees right now, and guess what the sun does to blacktop and the roads and stuff?
Warms it up.
Not just warms it up, makes it so you could cook an egg on it, right? So I'm going out to get the mail, whatever. I'm in my sandals, and I trip, and I fall, and I knock myself out. And now I'm laying on that roasting pavement, getting cooked alive.
Okay, so if you did that in the winter when it was cold enough for a blizzard, you'd freeze to death before you died of the heat.
How contraire, my mayor. I'm about to show you how I would survive that. I fall down, I get knocked out, right? And there's a blizzard. It's snowing like crazy. It covers me in a layer of snow. Do you want to know how I'd survive that? Your body heat gets trapped in there, right? So you're actually more likely to survive the snow than you are being roasted alive on the pavement.
Do you have statistics on this?
Well, not really statistics. All I can tell you is that
you're just making this up based on how huskies make nests in the winter.
No, maybe.
Can we also talk about how huskies have a fur coat and are literally made to thrive in cold conditions?
Yeah.
And if you were going out to get the mail, you just said you go out with flip flops, so you're probably not wearing like a full.
Well,
winter outfit.
I mean, if I was going on the winter,
we can also talk about the effects of frostbite.
I wouldn't be in the. No, you wouldn't get frostbite because you're in the little hut. You're in the little snow, so you've fallen down in the snow. You've fallen down, and Mother Nature's like, damn, he fell. I'm gonna give him a blanket, and that blanket of snow keeps you warm, much like a blanket of cloth or cotton or whatever keeps you cozy at night.
It's not.
Okay, point refuted. 1 point to the chairman of Chill.
No. That is not
refuted. What do you mean? No? I'm sure.
Because you can't just say stuff.
I'm just saying. No.
What if I say, okay, if you fall down on the blacktop, your body cools it down, and then the whole thing. You can't just make stuff up and then just.
See, your body can't cool it down because heat goes to cold, and you're technically colder, so the blacktop heats you up. And it roasts you, and you become nothing but a fried egg to put on ramen.
No.
Point chairman of Chill.
You know what? No, I don't even want to have this argument now since you're just making stuff up.
What do you... All right, I'm sure. I know I read somewhere that one of the things you can do if you're stranded, like your car is stranded or whatever, there's this diagram I read, right? If your car is stuck in the snow, one of the things you have to do is build up walls against your car to keep the heat in. You know, because snow...
but that's different
like an
because
insulator or
the
something.
Snow, because you're also in a car and there's also air around you and you're not probably touching your bare skin to anything that's freezing.
Oh, I'm not naked. I'm not naked getting the mail unless I'm in the summer, and then I'm wearing shorts and a shirt. Other than that, I'm not wearing anything.
But, so are you wearing, like, full winter clothes, or are you wearing, like, shorts and a t-shirt, which is what you would probably wear if you were going to get the mail?
Okay, well, Fat Tristen definitely would wear a shirt and shorts and sandals in the winter, but me, the smarter one, would wear pants and a jacket and shoes.
To get the mail?
To get the mail in winter.
That's attached to the house. The mailbox that's on the side of the house.
All right, we're going to assume
pants and a jacket and sneakers.
So realistically, let's assume that the mailbox is by the road.
Oh, okay, so here we go again, changing the context of this
Well,
argument.
I would figure that most people have mailboxes out by the road, right?
None of these people do.
Why do we live in a town of idiots? Who doesn't put their mailbox
Because
on
everyone's scared that they're going to melt like a fried egg on their driveway.
I'm telling you that snow can insulate your body heat, and I am more likely to survive a fall in the winter than I am
It depends on what you're wearing. Like, yes, I've heard that before, too. Like, if your car is out and you're stuck in the middle of a snowstorm, like, piling up snow on the sides of the car can help insulate it. But that's also granted, like, you're not in bare contact with anything that is below freezing from the beginning. So if you're doing that with your skin, like, you can't just go out and lay in the middle of the snow and expect it to insulate you. Like, you're going to freeze and suffer frostbite first.
It wouldn't be the middle of the snow. You'd build like a hut. I'm just saying people live in Alaska.
Okay, so do we have the tools to build a hut of snow in the driveway?
I have my hands.
Okay.
I mean, I can, like, dig. I can dig a hole. I mean, I don't have to build an igloo or whatever. I just dig a hole.
So, I thought you were knocked out when you were going to get the mail.
In the summer, because the heat is horrible.
So then what are we talking about in the winter? Because if you're not knocked out, then you can just go get the mail and come back.
I still fall. All right, maybe I'm.
Then
maybe
that's
I'm
not
a little
fair.
bit biased.
If you're getting knocked out in the summer situation, but not in
okay.
the winter one.
All right, maybe I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe. A little.
Okay. So we went on this huge tangent just now. I didn't plan this out very well. It was supposed to be the ultimate battle of cool versus heat, but I didn't find a good way to translate it into a podcast. And now we're just at each other's throats. But I can confidently say that most people would agree with me. Walking into an air-conditioned room is better than a heated room.
So even that, you have to frame it correctly, because you said, like, you're sweating and you feel terrible, right? You're outside and you feel horrible, and then you walk into an air-conditioned room.
Yes.
So most people think, like, in the winter, like, oh, like, you know, I have to bundle up a little bit, and maybe, like, your face gets a little cold, and then you come inside. But that's not actually the parallel to what you're describing for the hot into cold situation. What you're describing would be somebody that was outside with, like, summer clothes on, but out in the winter and, like, feeling horrible. Like, almost, like, they shouldn't be, like, in pain, but someone that felt, like, freezing, like, everywhere, and then coming inside to a house that was warmed up. And if you think about those sensations, then that makes it a little bit different. Not just somebody that's like, oh, like, I went out, you know, I bundled up to get to work, and then I walked in from the outside to the inside.
Okay, all right, well, I see where you're getting. Let's go ahead and run right back to the mailbox scenario. I will be more reasonable this time, okay? I will actually use my head. I've had about 14 minutes to think about it, and now the mailbox is at the end of the road. Your driveway is about 100 feet.
100 feet?
Okay, maybe 30? How long is the driveway? 20?
I guess 30 would be more reasonable.
Okay, 5 yards, 15 feet. We'll go 15 feet. All right, mailbox is at the end of the road. You have to go out, grab your mail, come back in. And that is the situation that we're in. So it's situation one. It's summer. It's 80 degrees, right? You go out, you get your mail. The sun beats the hell out of your back, neck, and whatever you have exposed. You step back into your house and it's air conditioned. It's lovely, right? Whereas in the winter, you get bundled up or whatever. You go out, you get your mail, you come back in. It's cold. You come in and you feel like you're getting warmed up. So those are the two situations, okay?
That's so like...
Now, hear me out. I still think walking in the AC is better than the warmth one. Although, I'll give you this. One of the main things I'm thinking about with the winter is like a symptom of hypothermia is you feel heat, right? And when I go out in the winter, my toes start to burn. You know, my toes and my fingers burn.
Mm-hmm.
And when I come into, like, you're supposed to warm them up, right? It just amplifies the burning. So it stops being pleasant, you know. But after you're outside in the snow or whatever, there's nothing like sitting on, you play in the snow as a kid, you sit on the couch, you wrap yourself in a blanket, and like you're drinking your hot cocoa. That stuff is nice, right? But you have to go out and do something. Like just stepping out, you're not cold enough for that feeling, right? You have to lower your body temperature to raise it up. Whereas in the summer, the second sweat starts peeking its little head out your pores, I feel nasty. I don't even have to start sweating. I just have to feel like, oh boy, gonna start sweating. I'm serious. I'm sweating on my underboobs and my armpit right now, right? Misery, you know. But say there's a room over there that's 65 degrees, man. It would be heaven walking in there, knowing that my sweat can evaporate, right? That's all I'm saying, you know. I hate the heat, man. I just want to give up. I just want to go lay out on that pavement and let Mother Nature take me, because clearly she wants me, you know. But in the winter, I feel I can control it better. I can just control everything better in the winter, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm breaking down here, man. I'm just melting to everything. I'm not really freaking out. But I'm just that's my major. You know, when it comes to comfort, when it comes to comfort, my levels of comfort compared to my level of misery, that gap is wider in the summer than it is in the winter. In the winter, it's a little bit more consistent. You know, and we cannot argue that fall is like the best temperature-wise, right? Because it's warm enough that you can get away with anything, and it's also cold enough you can get away with anything. It's like that perfect mix of temperature and like clothing options. You know, fall is king when it comes to weather. The atmosphere is great, the colors are great, the temperature is great. Spring just gives you pollen, and that's why fall beats it out. All it does is give you allergies.
It's just like so much of this is framed around personal preference, and like people without allergies don't care about spring. Like I like spring because it's starting to warm up and you can start doing more stuff else. Like, okay, let me just say,
I don't have allergies.
Here are my reasons that I have why I like summer better. So one, I usually save more money in utilities because in the winter, obviously, you have to heat the house because obviously, that's like, true. One, your pipes will freeze, or two, for your own safety, like, you have to keep your house heated to a certain point, and that just makes your bill run and run and run. In the summer, obviously, we have air conditioning, but it's an option. Like, I will not die in this house, or nothing will go wrong in my house if I'm not using air conditioning. Also, I've noticed, since using it, now that you're here, it takes way more time to cool the house down like a couple degrees and way more energy than it does to raise the heat in the winter. And it's costing, like, it's crazy how much, like, the difference in cost. So that's annoying. I also prefer warmer weather because the stuff that I like to do, like, my interests vary between stuff that I can do inside, like video games and, you know, maybe like reading books if I ever had the time, to outside ultimate frisbee, longboarding, like taking
Weed
Leo outside for
whacking.
walks, not weed whacking, but
I
like
hate
also, but like doing like I don't even like doing housework at all in the winter because I just don't. I don't know. Maybe that's probably one of my other personal preferences too. But it's not like people don't paint the house like in the winter. Like you can't like do that. You can't do like outside maintenance. Like you wouldn't be repainting like your fence or whatever. Like all that stuff is done in the summer. So there's more stuff that you can. And also like with my hobbies, there's more stuff that I prefer to do when it's warm outside that I don't have any access to in the winter. You can't, you know. And also just like my clothing preference, I don't like wearing clothes. So, which
Haagen-Dazs.
I just don't like wearing anything that's like a constriction to me, like wearing like a long sleeve shirt or like normally, you know, wear jeans or wearing dress clothes to work. Like they're all just uncomfortable and expensive. And they get gross easy, and like in the winter you're walking around and everything gets damp and cold, and then there's like the salt from the road gets everywhere. It makes everything look gross, rust your car. Like
I gotta say, there ain't nothing like jeans and a hoodie.
for somebody that like the person that I've been since ever is just very like I want as little maintenance as possible for anything. So for me, summer just makes way more sense because I don't have anything to like worry about. Not even like where we are, you know, a lot of other locations have to worry about like flooding or hurricanes or whatever, like tornadoes. There's nothing where we are to worry about that kind of stuff in the summer. In the winter, however, where we are, we get terrible snowstorms occasionally. And the winter's just long, so it's very unpleasant for a long amount of time.
Okay, let me ask you this: would you, because everything revolves around you and your hatred of clothing. But I was just about to ask, like, would you mind winter as much if there was just no snow and it was just cold?
It would be a lot better because a lot of the like I hate having to snow blow. I hate having to brush my car off constantly. I hate how dangerous that it gets and how difficult it makes it to drive. And even at least if there was no snow or ice on the roads, I could do some stuff outside. Like you could still kind of, you know, if it was, I mean, there's clothes for running in the winter, or you could go hiking or something. And I mean, there's some stuff that you can do.
You said running in the winter.
I guess you could longboard in the winter too.
You remember that newscaster that was like that caught these people running in the back? They interviewed or whatever. They're like, yeah, we run in the winter. Blah,
And
blah,
then,
blah.
they were like,
fall,
oh, it's the perfect texture.
and they eat shit.
Yeah.
Like, immediately afterwards.
I do remember that.
Man, that was funny as hell.
And I've done that before, not eating shit, but I've gone out running in a snowstorm, and I was trying to be very careful picking where I was stepping and stuff, and it was okay, but it's just not conducive.
Yeah.
It's just a lot easier. So just again, the way that my personality is and my kind of lifestyle, like summer just makes way more sense and is way easier for me.
All right.
And less expensive.
So
less time consuming.
Oh my gosh. You just she hates everything about the winter. No,
For reasons.
Now here's something. Winter has Christmas. Boom. Checkmate.
But
you lose.
Other like everywhere has Christmas, whether it's warm or cold.
Excuse me. Boom. I said checkmate. I don't know why you keep going.
Because
but seriously, on
you
a
think
more
you're queen.
serious topic. Let's talk about gatherings then in their respective seasons. Summer, usually you have like your outdoor barbecues and pool parties and stuff, and those are fun. In winter, you have like your indoor cocktail parties or whatever. Everybody's drinking wine, having a good time, and those are fun. And people will have a preference to either one.
And well, here's my argument to go with that is that in summer you could do either. Like you could say like let's
you
have a
can't
house
have
party.
fun inside in the summer unless it's air conditioned.
Well, I'm not
But who's
saying
drinking wine in the summer? It's all about beer and water.
Oh no.
It's all about beer and hamburgers.
No. I'm gonna have all of my friends are gonna email you now and say that because they have canned wine now. They literally made it. They've started making it the past few years. They put canned wine in like aluminum cans, so you can literally put them in the cooler and take them to the beach just like you do with beer.
What is this? Why
They do it with mixed drinks now, too.
The Karens are infesting too much!
No, that's the one place
leave
where...
the wine for your
that's where
cheese
we
plates.
appreciate the Karens.
you leave your... Keep wine in the monochrome tile kitchen.
People do wine tours in the summer. Like, you go outside and you go to the wineries.
That was our first date, was a wine tour.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't say
exactly.
I can't say anything bad about it because I just feel like I'm going to trash on us.
You can't taint our first date.
We have an inside joke where it's like anytime we go out and do something, it's like, is this our first date? It's because I'm very like nervous and stuff. So when we went to that wine tour, I was like, is this our first date?
It was adorable.
Yeah, well, at some point I stopped being adorable. I think it was after our first date.
Now, I will say that just because I prefer summer doesn't mean that I hate everything about winter. Like, I do like the feeling of getting all bundled up in a blanket. Like, I just bought this nice blanket and I can't ever use it anymore.
And I will concede that summer has corn on the cob, and that's the only redeeming quality.
And that's a seasonal vegetable, and if you try to eat it during the winter, it's going to taste crappy.
It's the only redeeming quality of summer is you can legitimately go out and grill hamburgers and cheeseburgers and have an excuse to shoot ketchup on the ground at the lock.
And mustard.
And there's corn on the cob. And boy, do I love me some corn on the cob. You butter it so much that you can't even see the cracks between the corn. It just looks like a big rod of butter. That's the best way to have it. Boiled and a rod of butter. I don't like grilled corn. I'll say this right now, I don't. If it starts to get blackened, it loses that pop. The exact same reason why I hate Hoffman hot dogs is the same reason why I love corn on the cob. The satisfying like pop. So it's just a buttery pop as opposed to shredded up animal asshole that you eat on a bun and it pops like a zit and juices in your mouth. You know, I guess it's a flavor thing. You know, if I had to eat zit, I would rather it be butter flavored.
You just like butter. Maybe you should put butter on the Hoffman hot dogs.
I'm a fat man. You know?
What if you put butter on the hot dogs?
It would be gross. It's not socially acceptable. Another argument we had in Walmart was, what do you put on a hot dog, ketchup or mustard? And it was like, everybody over the age of 40 was like, mustard, and that's it. Nothing else is allowed. And anybody with a brain said ketchup.
Did anybody say both? Or was it an either? Well, you have to pick one or the other.
Pick one.
Oh, okay.
You had to pick one. What's your answer?
Right
because
now...
I know what your answer is. Because I have made you so many hot dogs with
and
only
you keep
mustard.
telling me...
And I keep asking, do you want ketchup on it? Because you break my heart a little bit. Every single time you always say only mustard. Because you agreed with everybody at that Walmart.
Well, sometimes I like both, and I also am, like, I've never been a huge relish person because we never had relish, and I don't really know what it tastes like still.
It's
and
just
it makes me curious.
Don't get sweet relish.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm scared of, because I don't, I always tell people I like pickles, and they always give me the sweet pickles or the bread and butter, and I'm like,
Sweet relish
no, I need the dill pickles. Exactly.
You just want to get normie relish, because that's the spicy,
and that's
the good
probably
stuff.
what I would like.
The good stuff.
So maybe we have to try relish. Maybe you should get some relish.
Okay, I relish that idea. You're not even a good fake laugher, Sherry. Whatever.
I wasn't trying to.
I know, but the look you gave me afterward was like, okay, keep it moving. So that's my take, all right? And we can all come out of this.
I have one more thing.
Okay,
one more thing I want to say.
Go for it.
In the summer, the levels, at least in this house, but... Well, I don't know about the statistics of house, but this house it's a split level, but it also has the basement, which is like half finished. Mm-hmm. And here, there's a wide variety in temperature. So depending on how you feel, you could go to different levels of the house and find a better temperature. Like, I'm pretty sure if the basement was all finished, that's where all of the video game stuff would be in the summer, because it's nice and cool down there. Whereas then I could go upstairs to the bedroom.
See, I wouldn't mind being in the basement so much if Leo didn't have the stinkiest, gnarliest shits in the world.
Well, all you do is scoop them out and put them in the toilet. The litter's flushable, you just scoop it out and flush it down the toilet, and then it's all done.
Is it that easy?
It is. I'm going to teach you.
Oh, boy.
You already feed him, and anyways, so while you're down there, you might as well.
I don't want to adopt this cat.
That's too late.
He's cute, but whenever he meows at me, I just want to falcon kick him into the nether.
So, but yeah, and then in the summer, so in the summer you've got different levels, different temperatures. In the winter,
it's all comfortable.
No. You don't. Well, it's all the same temperature, kind of. There's still a little bit of difference, but it's a lot. There's a lot less option.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've both put our arguments forth,
Yeah.
and we can all agree that there are definitely two camps. You know, the wrong warm normies and the correct cool cats.
And we're not talking about spring or fall.
Yeah, no, everybody, we can all universally agree that those are best temperature-wise, without a doubt.
They don't even exist here anymore.
Fall tops spring, though, only because spring has pollen, and that's evil. And fall is colorful.
Spring also...
And it has apple cider. You can't beat it.
I do love
you can't
apple
beat
cider.
apple cider.
I do, like, hot apple cider. Like, that is another thing, too, I'll give to winter, because I still do it in the summer. Like, I'll still eat ice cream in the winter. I'll still have hot drinks, like hot cocoa in the summer, but it's just not the same.
No, you said hot apple cider.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong.
No.
Cider can only be drank cool and
it's
spiced.
delicious hot.
Cool.
Hot,
Cold.
Oh.
I got another temperature difference we'll have to disagree on. You guys can't see, but Sherry is so tiny and so skinny.
That's the other thing, too.
That her comfortable temperature is like, oh yeah, I'll sit here in 80. I'm like, well, the second the temperature reaches 80, I die. And I am big. I'm 6'1". I'm massive.
Yeah.
Right? And I pack a lot of heat. I always run hot. I always have. And 65 is my comfortable. That is like a 15-degree difference.
Well, that's another thing that like kind of plays into your personal who you are, because like I'm 5'2" and maybe 100 pounds. And I prefer, like, I could take a nap and, like, if I was outside in my hammock, 80-degree weather in the shade, that would be perfect.
I'm sweating under my legs right now, too. And if I was outside in your hammock, 80-degree weather, I would be like, why? And then I try to peel myself off the hammock, rip all my skin off, and die a horrible death.
You don't stick... It's not like a leather hammock.
No, it doesn't matter. The material doesn't matter. I melt to whatever. I am like butter. I'm like butter. The second it gets hot,
like butter on a hot dog.
I melt and I get ruined. But I taste good.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
That reminds me of the cool. I'm not gonna say it.
I don't know what you're talking about, but maybe you'll tell me after the microphone's shut off. Anyway, that was the chairman of Chill versus the Huntress of Heat. I was expecting an epic battle, but it was just a one-sided victory for Cool Man.
Okay.
Anyway.
I like how you're just laughing because you know.
Because, I mean, ultimately, I'll concede, it does come down to personal preference, your body type, how hot you run. There's no way that anybody can agree completely on this.
And your priorities, too, because I still, like, even...
My priority is comfort.
Well, exactly. And my priority has been, and for utilities still, is financial, like how much I can save. Because last year, I would sit in this house when it was like freezing to try and see like how low I could get the energy bill. And then I would also, like 2 years ago, I would sit in here. There were days where it was like 90 degrees and I still was not turning on the air conditioning. Because, I mean, also granted that there was like no insulation in the house then either. So that made it literally would run literally all day. Yeah. And not shut off. And I'd be paying out the ass for it to cool the house down to like 86. So what was the point anyways?
Yeah, now Pink Panther has his fur all over the inside of the walls. Pink Panther, that's an insulation, isn't it?
Oh,
that's what we had at my parents' house. Was Pink
I don't
Panther.
have that fiberglass bat stuff. They use something different now.
Oh, you use the squeezy cheese stuff.
No, there's this new stuff. It starts with a C. I can't remember, like cellulite or something.
Cellulite?
It's basically, it's not cellulite, but cellulose, and it's like newspaper that's been treated basically. Oh. And like maybe some other stuff, but it's mostly like treated, shredded newspaper, and they just blow it everywhere. And it's better for insulation. It's more like environmentally friendly, and it's also more resistant to fires. Like if there's a fire. So
we started off Pink Panther fur, and then we went to squeezy cheese, and now we're just lining our walls with hamster shreddings. Yeah, is basically what I'm understanding from this evolution of insulation. Yeah, disappointing. What am I going to tell people? It's like, oh, you can't eat the insulation, even though it looks like cotton candy. But now it's like, oh, this is newspaper. Let me piss on it. You know? Well, whatever. So that was I felt like that was a fun bit. It was off to a rough start, but I got passionate really quickly. And when I get passionate, man, do I just get correct about everything. Everything.
Okay.
Guys, I'm playing a character, okay? This is not how I actually feel. I mean, I do hate the heat, but I am not stupid. I will just say stupid stuff for the sake of comedy. Like, I'll concede to everything, but I'm not ain't no bitch. But I will listen to your arguments. You email me, I'll listen to them. And if they're wrong, I will prove you wrong. And if they're right, then I will still attempt to prove you wrong, just for the sake of argument. If that's how
and keep
it needs
moving
to
the
be.
goalposts and
I'll
change
do
the
it.
situation.
Yeah, man, I'll move the goalpost so far around that it's in another galaxy. I don't care, man. I'll do it. If it's entertaining, whatever. I'll throw everything out the window for a little laugh.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Anyway, we're gonna move on now. Here comes the comedy part of the podcast, right? That's how it's structured. The make you think part and then the comedy part. And the comedy is just my life, and I try to tell it like it's funny, even though it's usually not. Because, I mean, we've been in quarantine for like 3 weeks, right?
Like self-quarantine. Like
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we weren't exposed. We aren't in isolation. We're in quarantine. Because we're not sick, so we're not isolating ourselves. We're in quarantine so that, if it's possible. And that's just me giving a rough description. I can't exactly remember the difference, but there's a difference because it's like people are scared of one and like the other is a form of tyranny or something. People are stupid.
Either.
I just want to
Neither's
choke.
either.
I just want to choke.
Careful now. Careful, we're gonna get political.
No, I'm not gonna get. The only enemy of me is an idiot. I know that I'm a genius. I just proved the ultimate point earlier.
No.
Not even half an hour. Whatever. It's still a character.
About relish? We can agree on relish.
Oh my gosh. I love pickles. Pickles are great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the week in review. COVID test number 2. We waited to get this test because we're self-quarantining anyway, and the CDC says if you get exposed, you must isolate for 14 days. Right? Because the disease can be asymptomatic. You can't show
I was correcting
stuff.
on this. It's technically pre-symptomatic. You can be pre-symptomatic, meaning that you could have it, but it's just before you have any symptoms.
Yeah, that's
But
asymptomatic.
Yes. Well,
It means you're not showing symptoms, but you still have the disease.
yeah. It's just,
But
I don't know. Continue.
see,
I'm sorry.
More decisive. It's all under the same umbrella. You could still be sick and not showing symptoms, yet spread this disease around. So
Yep.
you and the test won't be positive until like 2 to 3 days before you even show symptoms. So there's no point in me being exposed, getting a test immediately, testing negative, and then going about my day because it could take the
Yeah.
virus 13 days to start showing symptoms.
Yeah. Well,
So
especially
then
because
there's-
we're not having to go out for anything anyways.
Yeah, so now there's a potential like 7 days I'm just out and about doing crap and infecting people because I was an asshole and didn't quarantine. So we got COVID. This was my second COVID test, and on an earlier episode I mentioned how the test wasn't that bad. But these people we went to are barbarians. And
It was funny because
they were still using the old way. But
that's why you were like, you told her like,
we're not there yet.
okay.
I gotta build it up. So we set this appointment like 2:00 yesterday, and it says, it'll be ready at 5.
Yeah, I went to check in, like you do at like a hotel. I went to like pre-check in or like get in line or whatever, and I was expecting it to be like maybe like half an hour, and yeah, it was 5:00 that they said, and that was the next time they had time. So I was like, all right, guess we're going at 5. Good thing we didn't have anything planned.
Yeah.
Again, we're in isolation or whatever anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I had something to say, I totally forgot what
Sorry.
it was. No, it wasn't you. It was like, while you were talking, but I needed to... It's weird, like, I have to strike this balance. Like, I have to listen to what you're saying, but also think about what I'm going to say next to keep the flow going.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think of something, I'm like, I gotta say that, but I don't want to interrupt you. And I forget. I'm very forgetful. So, 5:00 rolls around, we're like, we'll get there half an hour. Then I wanted to say, the reason why we wait so long is it's getting backed up, people. You know, there's only so many doctors and nurses on at one time, and
That's why we gotta flatten the curve. It's supposed to be down to where our capacity, the healthcare system's capacity, can handle.
Now this second wave is coming, and people are getting infected like crazy, and
Well,
now things are backing up again.
Well, some places weren't even over the first wave, supposedly. Like, some places didn't even meet the requirements to get under capacity where it was working, and now the numbers are going back up.
Texas, thank you again for being...
Yeah, which this will be a little... This episode will get posted a little bit after this has started happening, but so I'm sure we'll see down the road. But
I don't really want to talk too much about COVID. People are dumb. Yeah, that's really what we can all agree on.
Yeah, and anyways, we got this test. We had to wait forever to get. We got in line at 2. Got there at 5.
And like as soon as we pulled up to the place at like 4:40, they sent a text to you saying, "Oh, it's actually going to be 5:30 now."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, we're delayed." I was like, "Oh."
And okay, well, I mean, we can wait or we can go home. I don't care. I was shiny hunting.
We're very
Pokemon.
close, but yeah, he brought a Switch and I brought a book. So
so we're sitting there and it was hot. Oh my gosh, it was hot. I was getting miserable.
I turned on the air conditioning in the car.
My knees are sweating. My pits
and there's no shade. I always want to park under the shade if I have to sit the car somewhere because it makes it so much cooler. But the entire parking lot's all sun.
And let me tell you, this wait, it didn't piss me off because we had to wait. It pissed me off because I saw a wasp with a piece of food in its mouth. Right? It looked like a chunk of apple, like a teeny chunk of apple, and this dumbass was just flying around. It wasn't even eating the food. I'm just getting angry at this wasp. I want to roll the windows down, but the wasp is flying around. So we can't roll the windows down. But he keeps landing on cars, flicking his little antennas or whatever, flying somewhere else. He's hovering. He has the food in his mouth. And if I was a wasp, I would have eaten that thing by now. Why are you flying around?
A whole banquet of food, and
it's like he's flaunting. He's just like, "Ha ha! I have food, and now I can do whatever I want with it." So he's flying around. For like a half an hour, I'm getting angry at this wasp. I just want to bully this wasp because it's doing something I don't like, you know. And I finally think that it flies over the building. Oh, we're rid of this wasp, but no, it comes back for more to tease me some more. It's just irrational why I just hated this particular wasp so much.
We were sitting in the car and all the windows are rolled up, like it's air conditioned. He's got a switch, and for some reason, this wasp flying near his window like just triggers him, and he's like pounding on the window trying to get it to move, and he's screaming at it, and he even like rolls down the window because he's about to hit it. I'm like, don't roll down the window because then it's gonna come in here and then we're actually gonna have a problem.
I just
leave it up because the wasp is outside. I was like, what is the deal?
Break his legs, I just wanted to suck him into the window part that rolls down. He was making me mad.
No, he was gonna fly
It was
in,
irrational.
And then it was going to be not fun.
Like I had some sort of predator instinct to just beat the crap out of this wasp. It was making me mad. Oh man, it was making me mad. So we finally check in. We walk into this doctor's office.
Well, we didn't even walk in. So I had made this whole
we
effort
didn't
to
walk
check in.
Walk in.
Well, no, because I made this whole effort to check in from home ahead of time, 3 hours early, 3.5 hours early ended up being. We walk up, there's signs on the window that say, if you're here for COVID testing, go to this different website and put in your information and check in. And then go sit back in your car. And I was like, we could have gotten here and just done that and not worried about the other stuff. And now I've got 2 systems telling them, oh, this person needs an appointment, and that they're not going to link together, so it's going to be confusing.
Yeah, I never got another text message after we.
It was weird. So maybe they do have a system where they could see, like Sherry requested on both sides, so she's probably the same.
I think that it's just for people that didn't check ahead of time, and it's like, get in line, fool. It'll be a 3.5 hour.
Yeah,
wait.
maybe they would have had to sit there.
So
maybe that's why that guy left. That's what he was doing.
Probably.
That makes sense.
Oh my god, he looked just like me. If I was like 40, it made me sad. I was like, that's what I'm gonna look like. I'm like, he's not like, but he had the same mannerisms as me. I was like, I don't like looking in this mirror of the future. So we walk into this clinic, and the first thing I noticed, they have a slushy machine. This doctor's office has a slushy machine.
Had it, yep.
And I was just so tempted. I was like, can I have one? I really just wanted to ask him. I'm like, no, I can't, because the second I pull my mask off, I feel like I'm going to get shot in the head.
We should have gotten one on the way back.
Oh, I would have loved that. But it's just like, associated the two things, a doctor's office with a freaking slushy machine.
I think they always, because I had to take I was babysitting a few years ago, and I had to take a kid to like one of those centers. It was the same name, and they had one there, and that was the first time I'd ever seen it. I was like, what the heck? But this one also, since I've been going, no, a different location, but it was the same like brand, like the same company name.
Well, they don't got to protect the company. It's Well Now. It's Well Now Urgent Care. I mean,
so I don't know if they all have them though, but in those two, I've seen them every time that I've gone.
Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy to me. Like I was expecting a coffee machine, but an icy
or water
slushy machine.
Yeah,
you know, it's just something I never. Carnies do that stuff, you know. People at the carnival have stuff.
I wish they had cotton candy.
Oh my god, if they had cotton candy, I would have walked out. There's no the slushy was pushing.
Take yourself seriously.
This slushy was pushing its luck, but the cotton candy machine, come on now. So we get in there, we're both in the same room, and why do you need to test today? I'm like, I gotta get the test because I gotta go back to work sometime, you know. And we're waiting a little bit. Sherry wants to get her blood drawn, and she comes back. I was like, oh yeah, this test isn't gonna be that bad. And she's like, yeah, well, it's gonna feel like you're underwater. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's gonna feel like we're underwater? She pulls out this dagger-sized plastic cotton swab.
Which,
and I was like, whoa, we advanced our testing. We don't need to do that anymore. She's like, well,
his
we
previous
haven't.
test,
we haven't. So
Tristan was like,
God.
yeah, you guys must not have the updated test or something that came off rude.
I wasn't ready for them to just
he
poke
wasn't
my brain.
steeled.
I was like, okay, all right, let's do this. And she shoves it in, it just burns.
Yeah,
it
did not feel. I don't know about the underwater thing. It did not feel like.
Yeah, I was expecting to drown, but instead I
felt
feel
like somebody
I ate
put
a ghost
fire
pepper.
in my nose. Yeah.
So I'm tearing up. I'm like, oh my god, these guys are gonna think I'm a little bitch. And then Sherry gets it, and she tells me she's like tearing up a little bit. I'm like, okay, I feel less like a little bitch. But
I was not comfortable.
She drew the blood and she put it in a little hazard. I was just looking at that tube with all your blood in there. Like, you want to just give that back to her? Just put the blood back in her? Why do you steal the blood, man? I didn't really say any of that crap. I was just, man, that blood just goes in there, and now it's mixing all those other blood, and it's just a blood smoothie.
Wait, what?
They pulled the tube out. They have the little test tube.
Yeah, and they
with
put
her
it
blood,
in the biohazard container.
But the little plastic tube that your blood travels through to get in there, she just ripped it out and kept the blood.
No, she put it in the biohazard container.
Yeah, no, but it's not your blood anymore. Now it's just going to get thrown away.
That's what I'm saying. Should.
No,
I
was
want
just
it
getting
back.
mad. It was just in the tube. Just push it back in.
No.
Why not?
No.
Come on, that's my blood. I worked hard to make that blood.
I'm happy to make more overnight as I'm sleeping, or whatever, however it works.
Maybe you and I have different priorities.
Once it's out, I don't want to put it back in.
It's just going to Dracula or some crap.
That's fine.
It's just another excuse
Dracula's got to eat too.
It's just another excuse for the healthcare system to make more money off of Dracula.
That's fine. If that saves him from attacking another person, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Whatever.
That's like vegetarianism. For him. If he wants to be a better person,
I should at least opt in to get my blood back. That's all I'm saying. Like, why do you get to keep my blood? Like, they probably test it and they're like, all right, here you go, Dracula, $5 for a tube, and he's like, very good. I would like my blood, please.
Yeah, that's probably
I can do it better.
Ah,
very good. Please give me the blood. I felt like I was about to go Italian. I'm going to do an Italian Dracula now. Ah, very good. Please give me the blood.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I've had enough fun with that. Back on to so
blood.
Yeah, we took this COVID test. We're going back. I was like, oh, my prescription's ready. Mm-hmm. So we go to Walgreens. The amount of people that love to run in front of the car to cross the road.
Oh my
Use
gosh.
the crosswalk.
Yeah, I'm used to it, and I am always on the look. Like, I'm very attentive. I look on all sides. Like, if there's a red light, I still look. Or if I hit a green light, I still look and make sure nobody's barreling down the side road and not paying attention. So because you have to. Because literally we pull up and I'm turning into Walgreens, and at the last second, this person decides to run across the road and then, like, wave at me to slow me down. I'm like, I see you.
She was on the phone,
Yep.
And we're about to turn into Walgreens, and she runs right into the spot we're turning, so we have to wait even longer.
Yep.
And she's on the phone. She's like, "Oh," she pulls up her. Sorry. I'm like, "Use the crosswalk. Come on." You ran in front of a car, 2 cars, because there was another person on the other side.
If nothing else, at least like sprint your way across and get out faster. Like not even for my comfort or whatever, but just get out of the way of traffic because there's so many people that don't pay attention.
And the entitlement already, and just like everything should stop because I'm crossing. How much you want to bet? She's like, put in an order for Olive Garden for curbside pickup. She's like, give me my shrimp scampi. Hold on, I gotta cut in front of these people. You know, and oh, sorry, I need to get my order for shrimp scampi in. Oh my God, I'm getting my blood.
The drivers have gotten better since there's more people on the road, though, which doesn't make any sense. But at least there's that.
People are so...
It's been bad. But anyways,
I go into Walgreens.
Yeah, and I'm sitting in the car because I am again like, well, we're supposed to minimize exposure. I'll just sit in the car and I'll just chill. So Tristan's on this adventure by himself.
Yeah, and the only thing she requests was salted caramel from Ben and Jerry's, which I did. I got it.
And it's delicious.
I got it. So I walk up. What's your address? I give them address 1. No, I have something else. All right, give them address 2. No, I'm like, is it really this? Address 3. And she's like, yep, this is the route. And I'm like, all right, we got to change that because that one's ancient history. Right? And put in the last of your phone number. I was like, is it this? No.
Oh my goodness.
Is it this? No.
When's the last time you had a prescription?
Never at Walgreens. Usually it was at Walmart. Because I worked there and I was able to just pick it up. But Walgreens has all this wrong info and whatever. So they're, give us 10 minutes to get your prescription ready. I was like, okay. I totally forgot what this prescription was, so I'm expecting pills or whatever. But on my way over to the prescription desk in the first place, I walked back to past the bathroom. Excuse me. Past the bathroom, and it sounded like somebody was in there. But the way they sounded like they were puking was like, it sounded like something out of a sci-fi movie, because all I hear is this. Here comes a graphic recollection of the puking. All right, you ready? I walk by, and all I hear is, like a laser. And I had to stop dead in the tracks. I'm like, what? Who is in there? The aliens aren't in Area 51 or at Walgreens in Kentucky. They're in there puking in the bathroom. Somebody save him.
It's like a sick werewolf.
He probably ate a banana. Can you imagine if bananas throbbed?
Oh,
I don't know.
why would you say that?
I have no idea.
Why would you say that?
An alien picking up a banana is just like pulsing. You know how like
why?
Stuff that like from alien movies and stuff pulses.
Why a banana? Why something that we eat every day?
It's the first thing I thought. It was the first thing I thought.
Now we're never gonna eat them again.
I'm gonna eat them all the time. Whatever. I was just like. Like in an alien movie, you pick up something from the alien, it's like always got a heartbeat or something. I was just thinking, what if they picked up a banana and it just had a heartbeat and it was like throbbing or whatever? What if life was like that? But maybe that's for another day.
Go back. I don't even know how we got here.
So I pick up my ice cream. She said, you can go shop. I grab my ice cream. I walk up to the guy at the checkout counter. He's on his phone. He's talking to his mom or whatever. We make small talk. I feel like this guy is kind of checked out of his job already. He was like helping me out, but he wasn't the nicest about it. He's really abrasive. It kind of reminded me of me because he was like, playing around a little bit. And I was like, oh, damn. Is this really what I do? And then this,
yes.
And then this old asshole with long gray hair walks in, and the guy's like, "You gotta wear a mask. You gotta wear a mask." And he's like, "I'm just grabbing it. You gotta put this over your face then, or else I will not serve you." I was like, "Dang,
yeah,
that's some good stuff." So he like looks all pissed at the cashier, yanks off the paper towel, and it was a paper towel. Put this over your mouth, or I won't serve you. So he angrily yanks it off and walks away. And I had to cross the store again to grab my prescription. And I was like really looking out for this guy. I wanted to see if he still had the paper towel. I was like, you could tie it around like a bandana, make it at least look a little.
Yeah, try.
Yeah,
do something.
And I couldn't find him. He must have grabbed something and walked out already by the time I got my prescriptions. I was kind of sad because I really wanted a conclusion, but whatever. I don't know if he got humbled or not. So there's that. That was really the only entertaining thing that happened this week because, again, we've been in quarantine. Mm-hmm. I beat SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated. Man, I miss platformers. I miss them. they don't make games like they used to. Everything's a service now, and it's like, oh, pay $5 to put this platform in the world or whatever. We've taken steps. The gaming industry's gotten better, but I play Call of Duty Modern Warfare. First Call of Duty I liked in a long time. $24 for an operator skin.
Oh my gosh,
it's expensive. It's really expensive. I buy it all.
That's crazy.
No shame.
How much is the wolf?
The what? Which one? The white one?
Yeah.
It was like $24.
How much is the black wolf? And that guy?
$24. And I'm not just saying that to be funny. They're really both $24.
Well, wolves are worth it.
The white one though comes with guns that dismember and has a cool character skin and stuff. So
I do love wolves and dismember.
I don't know what my obsession with dismember means. I think it comes from watching my dad play Unreal Tournament when I was a kid, and he was always blowing people up. Here's another dad story that's kind of funny. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast. Even if I did, I'm going to tell it again. I watched him play Unreal Tournament on Facing Worlds all the time. That was the only thing. It was a server called Haley's Hot House. He always regulated it, and he'd have to change his name regularly because he would absolutely slaughter people to the point where they didn't even want to play with him. Like, I remember the Legend of Satever was his username. And he had to change it several times because people just didn't want to play with him.
I'm gonna look up what Unreal Tournament is because I don't even know what game.
Steve knows what Unreal Tournament is.
Not me.
It's the one, the Scarge hybrid, and anytime he jumps, he goes, what? I'm very sensitive when it comes to stuff with my ears. I'll remember sounds and stuff a lot better than anything else. So a lot of the sounds from Unreal Tournament, you could play me a random soundbite from any like game or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's this game.
That's true.
But what was I saying? Oh, I don't remember how it got brought up, but Dad was like, yeah, if you press F, you feign death, which you fake your death, your body just drops down. And he typed into the chat, he's like, hey, can somebody come up to the top of Blue Tower? I want to show my son feign death. So a teammate comes up and he feigns death, and Dad charges up the jackhammer and blasts him off the side, like effectively team killing him, but there's no friendly fire. And the second he did that and realized that he died, he just sat back in his chair and chortled like he usually does. He's like, like his classic dad laugh. One of those memories I cherish very, very fondly, and oh my goodness, it was hysterical. I actually wrote about it once as an application essay, and because it was I cheesed some stuff obviously, but it's like they really were going to see how you respond to sensory information. I don't really respond to, well, I mean, I respond to sounds more. I'm very, very musical. I play the piano or whatever, so always listening to stuff, and that's usually inflections I'll pick up on more than like body language, if that makes sense. Inflections in the voice I'll pick up more than like actual body
like
language.
Tone of voice, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like if I had to describe it, the things I'm more sensitive to, and from most sensitive to least sensitive, sounds, smells, and then sight. I do relate to smells a lot too. I'm not sure if that's the same for everybody. I know it's just for me, but I'll smell something and it'll be like, oh, I remember when we went here and did this.
Yeah,
and
they do say that it's one of the senses that's most linked to like nostalgia, like smell and taste, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Halloween mask, man. The second I smell something that smells like that, I'm like, ooh, Halloween, because it brings me back to 2012, which was like the best year of my life, right? And that's when I discovered Team Fortress 2, and the Halloween event was like the 2012 Halloween event of Team Fortress 2 was probably the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I was very, very content with everything I had. There was always stuff that I was looking forward to, and it was like one of the very, very rare moments in my life that I was looking forward to tomorrow. I've gotten a bit better, but just that specific time frame there, for whatever reason, is what I recall to be the best time of my life. And I'll remember, like, if I smell something similar, I'll be like, this smells like my room during 2012 Halloween event. I had already unboxed an unusual Orbiting Planets Liquidators lid. Sold it for Team Spirit Bill's hat It was a massive, massive downgrade, but eventually I got that same hat I unboxed back many years later. So that's a happy ending. I'm kind of going off topic a bit, but it's the second half of the show. I do whatever I want. This is the part where you listen for the personality instead of the topic. So rambling is definitely encouraged in the second half. Well, there you go, Mike. I made it official. You can't complain about my rambling anymore. This is the personality bit. But we're an hour in, and most people are either, if they're sticking around, they're very, very interested in what I have to say, or they walked away from their computer and don't know any better.
Already in an hour?
Yeah, it's been 59 minutes and 45 seconds.
I have to pee.
I don't care.
Am I allowed to get up?
No. Now I'm going to stretch it to 2 hours. Just
Then
so
I
you
am
can't
literally
pee.
just going to go.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, I guess we better wrap this up. I'm just going to give a quick show update. Episode 3 just uploaded, so starting episode 4 is when, is when we start getting a bit more meta and working on stuff to improve the show. Like, I've started talking slower the past 2 episodes, and we've gotten to an hour, no problem. You know? And I've still gotten passionate about the things I've talked about and gotten angry and frustrated, but I've slowed it down because I'm a bit more confident and I'm more comfortable now, and things, the one thing I do have to work on is getting a point across more, because I just want to give points to everybody in a debate. I'm like, okay, I can see where you're coming from, you know, and then they feel like they win. You know, Sherry feels like she won the warm debate, but it was clear that cold wins.
No.
See, there it is. But here's an exciting update. I have been looking into cameras so that the vodcast can get going when it's good and ready. I'm thinking when season 2 rolls around, if we don't have cameras at that point, that's fine. But if we do, then I can make this a show and make a more of a show atmosphere. Right now, it's obviously just a podcast. You know, it's audio only. It's meant for the ears, but I do want visual gags because I can work more. I can be more diverse with that. Audio is still number one because this is a podcast first and foremost. But we can steer away from that and turn it into a show, like a show of its own.
Adding, yeah.
Yeah, and we won't abandon the podcast entirely because you can still listen to it at work, but you know, if you hear slamming noises and people like crunching or whatever.
Ooh, it'd also be interesting to hear what people think we look like based on our voices. I know we kind of already described it.
I have, well, realistically, if and when we do get a big audience, they're going to see the videos first. You know, that's going to be the easiest thing to market and get out there because then I can clip funny stuff easily, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these first couple episodes are more or less to get into the flow and get more used to being in front of a microphone. This is very, very meta. You can tune out now if you want. I'm just going to talk about my plans and my goals, and Sherry's going to listen.
I gotta pee.
I know you got to pee, but you're going to listen. The video will be really, really easy. Like, you just take a 30-second clip of something funny that happens, toss it on Reddit, and boom, you might have a small audience already. So I'm just waiting for that perfect moment. You know, and I think that for audio only, for now it's just going to be me and you, but once the videos start going, we can have guests. You know, we'll have to have them sign their rights away. They'll have to sell me their soul. Tyler, specifically. I'll have you sign a contract that says you are never ever allowed to say the word "the" ever again. Otherwise, you owe me money. I won't be that restrictive, but like, you know. But that's really all I've got. This is episode 6, 4 episodes away from the season 1 finale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't really have anything special planned. It's just going to be a regular episode under season 1. Season 2 will roll around. Hopefully we'll have cameras by then, and if not, it's just business as usual. But let me know, seriously though, let me know if there's anything I can improve, because I really, really want to learn more. Like the sound, I've heard feedback from everybody. I know Brad from his podcast. Says the sound is good. He lamowed when I said orange to you. Mike says the sound is good. Everybody says the sound's good, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm more worried about content now. I feel like my ideas are running out for only audio because I still want to make you think, but at the same time, I just want to show graphs and stuff. Like, this is a bar graph of why cold is better than hot. And it's just got, like, the cold bar like, all the way up
if
the
we're
top.
making visuals, then I've got this locked
I
down.
know you're a graphic artist, but come on, man. Go easy on me. All I can do is Microsoft Paint. But it's just an update to let you know what's going on. I don't have any plans to stop this anytime soon. I know there are some podcasts that they don't see a viewer base. Some people give up. And I'm really, really quick to give up on stuff that I don't see fruit with either, you know, but this is something I have to be very patient with and very, very thorough and consistent with in order to start growing an audience, you know? Like, that's the biggest goal right now, is I don't want to feel like I'm failing. I want to feel like going forward, I know the only way to go is up, right? Back then, if I tried this, I probably would have given up by now. You know, I haven't seen any growth other than people that know me, and that's not what this environment is. For this to work, you have to keep trucking. It might be a year before we get a hit. It might be 2. Could be sooner. But the main takeaway is I'm going to keep going. So for all you faithful listeners, Mom, Dad, maybe Aunt Jody, Steve, Mike, Tyler, I'm going to force you to listen to this. Because you didn't even listen to episode 2 when episode 3 was there, so you're not a true fan.
Wow.
Mom's listened to each one like 4 times. She's a true
Classic
fan.
Mom.
Mike, you better catch up, dude. I'm serious. You better start watching while you're sleeping. You better start listening. I can put you to sleep. Lullaby and good night. Have sweet dreams, my little Michael. Also, your brother's kind of funny.
Me?
No.
Oh, Mike's brother.
Like, yeah, Sean. I don't know why. Like, the first time I met him was like the other day, and we were just ripping into him, his roommate, and all of us were just tearing him apart. He's a good sport. Shout out to you, Sean. Thanks for being a good sport. You're listening to this. You said you can't wait to listen. If you get to this point, email workwiththemadults@gmail.com. Say, Hedgehog Jawbreaker, and I'll know you're a true fan. But, all right, I've got nothing else. Sherry, I don't want your bladder to explode, so
It's struggling.
I'll go ahead and let you go. You got any last words other than I have to pee?
Can you make me hot dogs with mustard?
Do you really want hot dogs?
Yes, I do.
How many do you want? There's 4 buns left. If you ask for 3, I'm gonna make them all so that I can have one.
Okay, I'll do that.
You want me to make 4
Yeah.
hot dogs?
Yeah.
You want me to do mustard only?
Yeah.
You want to break my heart some more?
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. So, bottom of the show. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate you. We'll keep this going. If you keep listening, I'll keep cranking it out. Send money. No goodbyes. I think maybe just later is going to be the goodbye. So, later.